What's up, everybody? In this video, I'll be showing you how you can pull a cash buyers list inside of Propstream in any city or state of your choice. And guess what? If you stick through to the end of this video, I will actually give you a way that you can get realtors to sell your deals as well too. So please stick through to the end. Also, hit the like button and subscribe and click the notification bell. And let's go into this laptop now. All right, so now that we into the laptop, let's say that you have implemented everything that I pretty much showed you in my whole wholesaling playlist, and you finally got a property under contract, and now it's time to handle the dispo side of the property. So as you can see here in PropStream, you have a whole outline of the United States. And guess what? Almost in every single state, you can pull a cash buyers list or pull a pre-foreclosure list. So what I'm going to do, let's say that we have a property under contract in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just zoom in right quick. And let's say that you say, okay, I want to just pull the cash buyers for the whole entire Atlanta area. So in order to do that, you see we have Atlanta here. First thing you need to do is go up here and type in Atlanta, Georgia. First thing that's going to come up is all the properties in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know if it's really all the properties, but it's going to give you a list of properties that's in Atlanta, Georgia. And you can see it's 315,000. The next thing you want to do is a filter tab up here. This is where all the magic happens. So basically, you're going to click the filter tab. You're going to go into your quick list choices, and you're going to select cash buyers. That's the very first thing that you're going to do. Then you're going to come up here to where you see owner occupied. Of course, if it's a cash buyer, you want to weed out anybody else that is looking to purchase these properties cash and wanting to live in the property. We won't know for owner occupied. So that lets you know that the person that purchases property is a cash buyer, and 9 times out of 10, this is going to be a rental property for them. The next thing that you're going to have is the status on whether it's vacant or is it occupied. That doesn't really matter. We're just going to leave it as any. Then you go to property characteristics. This is important because if you have a property that is a single family home or a duplex, then you come over to this tab where it says property types, and you're going to select single family because it's a single family. Let's say that we have a single family home under contract. We're going to select that. So you see how it's just constantly narrowing down the search? And after that, we're pretty much done with that tab. You have an MLS status tab, which we don't need to use whenever it comes down to finding cash buyers. So we're going to skip over that. The pre-foreclosure tab is where if I wanted to pull a pre-foreclosure list in Atlanta, I would use this tab to pull a list, but we're not going to use that either. You have the ownership info tab. This is important because the first thing you want to do, you want to make sure that these cash buyers are actively buying in the area. So what we're going to do, we're going to say that any cash buyer that bought a single family home in the last year, so we put 1 here for a year, that's the max amount. It'll be year or less. That's the type of buyer that we want because we know that they're currently active in the market. Next, you're going to go to owner type. So your owner type, you want to make sure that you select individual because if you select corporate or mix or trust or anything, if you try to skip trace, because we are going to skip trace this list, if you try to skip trace this particular list with LLCs in it, you're going to 9 times out of 10 get a wrong phone number unless you get someone to clean it up to actually find the owner of the LLC. So we're going to click individually owned. And another important thing under this tab is the absentee owner location. I always choose local because if I have somebody that's investing out of state, I just don't want to go through the hassle. I want to find somebody that is local in the area, that flip houses in the area in the past year, and they can get out to the property and take a look at it so they can make their final offer. So That's how I set it up under the ownership info tab. Feel free to play around with it the way you want to if you have a certain criteria, but that's how I do it. So the next thing that you have is the liens tab, which that's another way that you can build a list inside of Propstream, but we're not focusing on that this video. It'll be another video. And then you have your equity info tab where you have your estimated value. This is very important because you don't want to say, you don't want just any and every type of property. Just like how you have this property here that's sold for 2.6 million. A cash buyer really is not going to do anything with that. They're not going to go and spend 2.6 million on a property unless they're in Los Angeles or something. Even though I think that still may be too much. But so what we would do, we want to set a max amount that that these cash buyers are purchasing in. And most of the time in the area that you would be in, that number would be around, let's say, 250,000. That narrowed the search down to 142. So after that, we have one more tab, which is mortgage info. We're not dealing with a mortgage because these are cash buyers. They're buying cash. And see, now you have all prices down here for what the property actually sold for. Now, this is pretty much your standard setup in any market that you go. This number may change if you're in a higher price market such as LA, but other than that, mostly everything else is going to remain the same unless you're dealing with another type property. So this is how I pull my cash buyers list. And from here, what I do is I check every single last one of them. I add it to a list. You add it to a list, create a new list, and then you name the list, and then you export it and skip tracing and back skip tracing. I choose back skip tracing, which I have linked below, because they give me the best results. So that's that's my reason for using back skip tracing. Now, I know that you may not have gotten this type of information before, but I'm here to help. I want to make this process easy for you. I pay attention to the questions that I got over the past couple of weeks now, and I'm making videos based off of the questions that I have. Now, since you stick with me to this point, I'm going to show you how you can actually get realtors to sell your deals. Instead of you doing the heavy lifting and trying to find buyers, these realtors are going to have cash buyers for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back into my computer. We're going to choose Atlanta as a market, and we're going to repeat the same process, but we're going to change the criteria. We're going to change the filters. So let's go back into the computer now. So now that you see that we're back into the computer now, we're going to clear all. We're going to click Atlanta again. And this is another way that I determine whether this is a good market to go in as well too. We're going to go down to flippers, and that's all we're going to do. These are buyers that actually purchase these properties to flip. So what you're going to want to do in this situation is, let's say we take a look at this property right here, right? So the next thing that we're going to do is go to MLS details. And we're going to see that this is the agent that has this property listed. And they actually are working closely with they're working closely with this LLC owner, this cash buyer, to sell the property. So of course, they may have even more buyers that will be willing to purchase your property. That's how you get realtors to sell your deal. They're going to get your property. Of course, you got to tell them put their fee on top of your asking price. So you got to leave them some room to make money, and they'll be willing to sell your assignment agreement. But do it the right way, because we don't want to have a bad name out here for ourselves. Just make sure that you work closely with the realtor and make sure that everything is in order when it comes down to you actually trying to sell your assignment agreement. Now, when we go back to the cash buyer standpoint, if you're trying to sell it directly to cash buyers, after you skip trace, the next thing that you would need to do, You actually have to text these potential buyers, send them a ringless voicemail, or call them individually. If you call them individually, that give you opportunity to build relationships and see if they still are, looking for properties in the area, and you have someone else to sell your deals to. But that's going to be very, very important, because you don't want any buyers that's going to be trying to lowball you or waste your time, which they're going to do that regardless. But you just need to build that solid relationship with the buyers. And real estate agent situation that I just showed you, whenever you save these flippers, whenever you save these 589 flippers, what will happen is when you export it, you can export the agent first name, the agent last name, and their phone number, and then you'll be able to give them a call individually. So definitely, please take the time just to do that. Build relationship with agents, build them with cash buyers, so you won't have any issues with selling your deal if you're in the Atlanta area. But if you have any questions about this process, leave your questions down below, or if you just want to leave a comment on this particular video, just leave a comment down below. Like I said before, hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, and definitely feel free to check out my wholesaling playlist that I have here. And it's going to show you, if you don't understand the process of wholesaling, after you watch this playlist, I promise you, you'll understand the process of it, and you'll be ready to get started in wholesaling. I'll see you next time.